Well, my background was in the military air force, and everything we did in the aviation industry was all against RCM philosophies. And with the aviation industry, new aeroplanes tend to be evolutionary rather than revolutionary. And so because of that, they start at the feasibility stage with reliability, and the reliability of the asset comes right through till the time it goes into production, in the flying instance. But also, as it gets older and gets decommissioned, the RCM philosophy is ingrained in the system. Now, when I left the Air Force and started working in industry, I found the equipment was revolutionary, not evolutionary. So the new components were just increments in performance and design over the previous ones. And most organisations had the existing organisations or equipment manufacturers' maintenance recommendations, or they had some themselves. And for that reason, it didn't really make a lot of sense to go back and start from a clean sheet of paper as what was done in the aviation industry. It made more sense to take what was currently in the system, or currently the vendor's program, and rationalise and review that. And that rationalisation and review process is what we now call PM optimisation. So I went to many plants, and RCM was the flavour, if you like, the traditional way of doing things, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me to start all over again, which really meant throwing away all of the current maintenance programs and starting again. So the process we developed was aimed specifically at organisations that had existing maintenance strategies, or where there was one provided by the vendor, to quickly assess the maintenance needs using the RCM decision logic, but not starting from zero, but starting from the current position. And of course that was almost 20 years ago when we started doing that, and it's now become a common practice in many industries. So the process that we developed seems to have found its mark in what people do, and many companies use this process instead of the RCM methodology. So that's a bit about where it started and where it is now. So I can see a lot more people using it, and I think it's gained its credibility these days, and so I'm really proud that I've been able to, create some improvements in the area of asset management. The culture of organisations, surprisingly enough, is not specific to countries and things like that, and people link culture often with the country they're in, and I don't really see it that way. I think people generally come to work to do a good job. In fact, not generally, but always. I don't see anybody that comes to work with any intent other than do the best they can. So I don't see any difference in cultural issues wherever you go in the world. But what I do see is a generational change, and it's not so much a culture, it's a knowledge. And as we learn more about the methods of asset management, the traditional ways of overhaul and everything like that seem to be going out, which is the way forward. And the new young people are embracing the new methods and the new age of computers and the new age of technology, bringing information into the system. So, I'm really seeing a lot of changes out there. The culture is one now of enthusiasm and energy in the young people, and conferences like this actually provide the platform for all the people that are emerging as the new leaders to really get a handle on all facets of the asset management. I think this is a magnificent conference, and I attended the same conference 10 years in Bogota, and the change in numbers of people, the changes in what people are talking about is quite different. So when I came here 10 years ago, there was a lot of questions about what we should do and how we're going to do it. And what I'm seeing now is this is what we've done and this is how we did it. And isn't that a remarkable change over 10 years, where people, 10 years ago were saying, what is it we need to do? But now they're saying this is what we did do and this is where we're going in the future, and these are the benefits. And for people and communities to come together and share their experiences is a wonderful thing. For those that are still starting on their journey, there's so many people out here now that can guide them through, because their experience and how to do it and how not to do it, which is equally important, is so important for everybody. And so I think it's been a sensational conference. There's been so much information, there's been a number of tracks, so everybody with all sorts of different interests have had their meets need. Of course, there's been some sensational speakers from around the world. They've got the best of the best, and so to me it's a conference that you can't miss. It's been truly remarkable.
Okay, great.